There is a $15 brewed liquid that outperforms $150 bags of synthetic nitrogen fertilizer on its own metrics. Not by a small margin. This biological inoculant delivers permanent soil regeneration, 400% more root mass than industrial commercial treatments right now. The United States Department of Agriculture tested it. Independent agronomists certified it. And then the $14.3 billion commercial lawn care industry said absolutely nothing. Understand precisely what we are discussing. This is not a slow-release organic granular fertilizer that takes 6 months to show results. This is not a weed and feed chemical salt combination that sterilizes your soil. This is not a temporary iron-based green-up dye designed to mask a failing root system. This is a living, predatory biological workforce. It does not rely on synthetic chemical salts to force-feed your turf. It relies on the fundamental biological architecture of the planet. Every bag of granular fertilizer you have ever purchased was designed to attack the symptom while secretly exacerbating the underlying disease. You are not buying a bad brand of lawn food. You are buying an engineered chemical dependency. They did not stop teaching the biological method because it failed. They buried it because it worked too well. 3 completely isolated civilizations with zero contact between them, separated by thousands of years and entire oceans, all independently discovered the exact same biological mechanism for extracting infinite fertility from barren ground. That is not coincidence. That is not primitive folklore. That is convergent biology patiently waiting to be understood. Look at the Amazon basin, 500 CE. The Kuikuro people inhabited an environment with some of the poorest, most heavily leached clay soils on the planet. Tropical rains washed away all available nutrients. Yet, they supported massive agricultural cities. How? The Kuikuro engineered terra preta, dark earth. They did not try to add chemical nutrients to the clay. Instead, they inoculated the barren ground with fermented organic matter, bone, and charcoal teeming with microbial life. This living soil digested the harsh jungle matter and fed the crops autonomously. When modern agronomists test terra preta sites 1,500 years later, the soil is still infinitely fertile, actively regenerating itself without human intervention. Cross the globe to Edo period Japan in the 1600s. Mountain farmers faced with thin, rocky terraces had no access to chemical nitrogen. A master agriculturalist in the Nagano prefecture documented a process of harvesting the white, web-like fungi from the undisturbed forest floor. He combined this forest leaf litter with rice wash water and fermented it. He created a liquid biological spray. When applied to the barren terraces, the rock broke down into deep, black, nutrient-dense loam. The indigenous microorganisms liquefied the minerals in the stone, feeding the rice crops with terrifying efficiency. Centuries later, on the medieval Baltic coast in 1200 CE, monastic agriculturalists faced freezing temperatures and sandy, desolate coastal soil. They developed a method of brewing cold water teas using sea kelp and decomposing forest duff. They aerated these wooden vats with crude mechanical paddles. When they drenched their monastery gardens with this living liquid, the sandy soil transformed into a rich, water-retaining sponge capable of sustaining crops through brutal droughts. Every civilization with failing soil and a mandate to survive arrived at the exact same biological conclusion independently. The modern scientific isolation of this mechanism occurred in 1904. A brilliant agronomist named Lorenz Hiltner walked into the Royal Bavarian Ag Botanical Institute in Munich. He placed the root systems of various plants under a microscope and made a paradigm-shattering discovery. He observed that the area immediately surrounding the plant roots was absolutely exploding with bacterial and fungal life, up to 100 times more dense than the surrounding dirt. He coined a term for this microscopic ecosystem, the rhizosphere. Today, soil microbiologists call the solution to your failing lawn actively aerated compost tea, AACT, powered by the soil food web. To understand why a simple $15 bubbling bucket threatens a multi-billion-dollar chemical empire, you must understand the mechanism at the cellular level. Grass does not eat fertilizer. Grass eats what bacteria excrete. When your turf needs nitrogen, it performs a biological transaction. The grass uses photosynthesis to create liquid carbon, essentially sugar water. It pumps these sugars, called exudates, down into the soil through its roots. It is ringing a dinner bell. Billions of dormant bacteria and mycorrhizal fungi wake up and swarm the roots to consume the sugar. These bacteria then act as microscopic miners. They travel out into the soil, dissolving sand, silt, and pebbles to harvest their raw elemental nutrients. But the grass cannot eat the bacteria. Enter the predators. Microscopic protozoa and beneficial nematodes are attracted to the massive bacterial swarm. They eat the bacteria. Because the bacteria are incredibly nutrient-dense, the protozoa excrete the excess nutrients right against the grass roots in the form of pure, perfectly balanced, bioavailable nitrogen. When you brew actively aerated compost tea, you are rapidly breeding trillions of these specific bacteria, fungi, and protozoa in a highly oxygenated water environment. You are breeding an army. The scientific consensus is unquestionable. In 2005, the prestigious journal Soil Biology and Biochemistry published a definitive peer-reviewed study evaluating the efficacy of microbial soil inoculation. The quantified finding? Test plots treated with biological teas showed a 75% reduction in the need for supplemental nitrogen, alongside a massive increase in root mass and drought tolerance. The United States Department of Agriculture's Natural Resources Conservation Service explicitly acknowledges that healthy, biologically active soil cycles nutrients automatically, requiring little to no synthetic input. The highest agronomic authorities on Earth validate this mechanism. The commercial lawn care and synthetic fertilizer industry generates $14.3 billion in annual revenue in the United States alone. That is a massive financial engine built almost entirely on an engineered addiction. Follow the money. That is always the answer. If a homeowner brews a $15 batch of biological tea, introduces a permanent workforce of microbes into their soil, and never has to buy nitrogen again, that homeowner disappears from the market forever. The synthetic fertilizer industry relies on you signing a $1,200 annual contract or buying a $150 bag of granular nitrogen every spring, summer, and fall. You cannot patent a bacteria that lives in the forest behind your house. You cannot copyright the protozoa that exist in high-quality compost. Because they cannot patent the soil food web, they cannot build an exclusive empire on it. So, the industry deployed the ultimate suppression mechanism, educational capture, and the chemical treadmill. In the mid-20th century, the massive chemical companies that manufactured explosives for World War II needed a peacetime market for their synthetic nitrogen. They rebranded it as agricultural and lawn fertilizer. To ensure dominance, they heavily funded the agricultural extension programs at major universities. They rewrote the agronomy textbooks. They shifted the entire educational paradigm away from biology and toward chemistry. They taught landscapers that soil was just an inert sponge meant to hold chemical salts. But synthetic nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK, fertilizers are exactly that, chemical salts. When you dump a bag of synthetic fertilizer onto your lawn, you are salting the earth. The salts chemically burn and kill the delicate bacteria, fungi, and protozoa in the rhizosphere. You experience a massive, unnatural flush of green grass for 3 weeks as the plant mainlines the synthetic chemical. But beneath the surface, the soil is dying. The microscopic workforce is annihilated. The soil turns into compacted, dead dirt. Because the biology is dead, the grass can no longer feed itself naturally. It begins to yellow. It becomes a drug addict. It now requires the homeowner to buy another bag of synthetic fertilizer just to survive. The master greenskeeper who manages a $20 million professional golf course knows exactly what you are about to learn. Behind the maintenance shed, hidden from the members, they have massive 500-gallon conical tanks bubbling with forced air, brewing actively aerated compost tea. They spray this living biology onto the greens to protect them from disease and extreme stress. Then, the industry turns around and sells the homeowner bags of sterilizing salt. If they told you to stop buying the bags and start brewing the biology, their entire recurring revenue model collapses overnight. They are not going to tell you. That is $14.3 billion flowing from homeowners to chemical conglomerates every year because of a deliberately engineered biological collapse. We are going to break down the exact brewing protocol the professionals use to regenerate dead soil. But before we do, understand that the suppression of soil biology is just one mechanism they locked away. The industry suppression architecture extends into every aspect of maintaining a property. I have compiled the raw, unpatentable protocols for the most heavily gate-kept horticultural and maintenance secrets in the world. The acetic herbicide matrix, the exact concentration of industrial vinegar and citric acid required to permanently alter weed cell walls without synthetic carcinogens. The copper root protocol, how to permanently destroy mainline tree root intrusions in plumbing without a $12,000 excavation. The diatomaceous asphyxiation method, the $12 fossilized powder that decimates crawling insect colonies physically, rendering chemical resistance impossible. The silica fracture method, the agricultural byproduct that dehydrates bedbug colonies faster than commercial heat treatments. The ozone remediation loop, the atmospheric hack used by disaster cleanup crews to permanently erase decadal smoke odor. These files are secured in the link in the description. Stay here. The science behind this brewing method is about to make the synthetic chemical industry very uncomfortable. This is where the marketing ends and the biological reality begins. Actively aerated compost tea is not a miracle spray. It is a living, breathing ecosystem. It has absolute, non-negotiable limitations that you must respect before attempting this. First, it has a shelf life of literally minutes once the oxygen stops flowing. You cannot bottle this and put it on a shelf. The aerobic, good bacteria require constant oxygen. If you turn off the air pump, the oxygen in the water depletes, the good bacteria suffocate, and anaerobic bad bacteria take over. The tea will smell like a swamp and it will harm your plants. You must apply it immediately after the brewing cycle finishes. Second, municipal tap water will kill it instantly. City water is treated with chlorine or chloramine specifically to kill bacteria. If you brew microbial tea in chlorinated water, you will breed nothing. You must fill your bucket and let it sit uncovered for 24 hours to allow the chlorine to off-gas into the atmosphere, or use a humic acid neutralizer before adding your compost. Third, and most importantly, the pathogen risk. If you attempt to brew this without sufficient aeration, or if you use uncomposted animal manure, you risk breeding human pathogens like E. coli or Salmonella. You must use a powerful commercial air pump, and you must use high-quality, fully finished thermal compost or pure earthworm castings. If your soil has been contaminated by a heavy metal industrial spill or severe chemical dumping, you do not need a compost tea. You need professional environmental remediation. Do not play games with toxic waste. But for the compacted, yellowing, chemical-addicted dirt in your front yard, you handle that yourself. You will need 5 items: a clean 5-gallon bucket, which costs you around $4, a commercial-grade aquarium air pump with silicone airline tubing, and an air stone of $25. A mesh paint strainer bag of $2, 2 cups of premium earthworm castings around $10, and 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses, which will be of $5. Step 1. The dechlorination phase. Fill the 5-gallon bucket with tap water. Leave it completely uncovered in your garage or yard for 24 hours. The chlorine will naturally evaporate out of the water. Do not skip this. Step 2. The oxygenation setup. Drop the heavy air stone to the very bottom of the bucket. Connect it to the air pump and turn it on. The water should be boiling violently with bubbles. This hyper-oxygenated environment is what guarantees the explosive growth of beneficial aerobic microbes. Step 3. The microbial inoculation. Place 2 cups of the pure earthworm castings, this is your microbe source, into the mesh paint strainer bag. Tie the bag shut securely. Suspend the bag in the bubbling water, tying it to the handle of the bucket. This is the tea bag. Step 4. The carbohydrate catalyst. Take exactly 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses and dissolve it in a cup of warm water. Pour this mixture into the bubbling 5-gallon bucket. The molasses is pure liquid carbon. It acts as the primary food source that will cause the dormant bacteria in the worm castings to multiply by the trillions. Step 5. The incubation window. Let the bucket bubble vigorously for exactly 24 to 36 hours. The water will turn a deep, rich brown. It should smell like the forest floor after a spring rain, earthy and sweet. If it smells like rotten eggs, it went anaerobic. Dump it out. Step 6. The biological deployment. Observable indicator. Remove the mesh bag. Pour the deep brown liquid into a watering can or a clean garden pump sprayer. Do not use a sprayer that has ever held chemical herbicides. Drench your lawn in the late afternoon when the sun is low, ensuring the liquid soaks into the soil. Within 14 days, you will observe the soil softening. Within 30 days, grass roots will begin to dive deeper, and the color will shift to a deep, natural green that does not fade when it gets hot. Consider the reality of Michael Vance from Charlotte, North Carolina. In 2021, Michael owned a quarter-acre property with heavily compacted, struggling Bermuda grass. Every year, a franchise lawn care company charged him $1,200 for a 7-step chemical program. The grass was green in May and dead by August. Instead of renewing his contract, Michael spent $46 on a bucket, an air pump, molasses, and premium worm castings. He brewed a 5-gallon batch of biological tea and drenched his lawn on a Sunday evening. He did it once more in the fall. That was 3 years ago. Through scorching southern droughts and watering restrictions, his lawn remains thick, deeply rooted, and vibrant. He has not applied a single grain of synthetic nitrogen since. His total annual cost is now $15 in molasses and castings. He retained his $1,200. He bypassed the industry entirely. Pre-Columbian agriculturalists knew it. Bavarian microbiologists mapped it. The United States Department of Agriculture confirmed it. The $14.3 billion synthetic fertilizer industry spent fortunes rewriting the textbooks to make sure you never understood the fundamental difference between feeding your soil and salting the earth. They built an empire on your fear of a dying lawn, selling you the exact chemicals that caused the death in the first place. But now you know. Every share of this video puts a crack in the wall they spent billions building around biological knowledge that was never theirs to lock away. Do not keep this to yourself. Send it to the neighbor spending his weekends pushing a spreader full of synthetic salts. Send it to the homeowner paying a subscription to poison their own soil. Every subscription to this channel keeps us digging where they do not want us to look, exposing the engineered addictions that fund their empires. The next vault opens soon, and what the global appliance manufacturing cartel buried inside that one regarding the intentional failure points of modern washing machines is even heavier than what you heard today. Do not miss it.